5 Piru sets in Los Angeles, California.
A gang called the Piru Street Boys was founded by Sylvester Scott and Vincent Owens. According to some sources, the Piru Street Boys were initially associated with the Crips, but later had a falling out. However, other sources dispute any alliance, claiming that the Piru Street Boys were victimized by the Crips. Nevertheless, by 1972, the Piru Street Boys formed an alliance with the other small street gangs such as the Pimps, Bishops, and Devil-Lanes, which was also opposed by the Crips. This alliance became known as the Bloods.
At number 5, we have the Village Town Pirus.
But look though, he came from these projects though. He came from these projects, Piru Village. So that's what I'm saying. Niggas think that we ain't doing nothing, the hood gone, that, you know what I'm saying, like we just disappeared or something. Like,
nah, man, boy, still out here, man. Shit going on, man. Yeah, man. This where the projects used to be at, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you see the bird right there. It's still active out here.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man, we ain't going nowhere. We staying right here. They might took the buildings, but we still out here, man, every day.
The Eastside Village Town Pirus is an African-American street gang based in Willowbrook, California, near Compton. Although they're outside Compton's official boundaries, they claim to be from the Eastside Compton area. They originally started in the Ujima Village housing projects near the Magic Johnson Recreation Center in Willowbrook Park. The housing complex was closed in 2013 due to health concerns, but members of the Village Town Pirus still live in the nearby neighborhood. Their territory now spans from 120th Street to El Segundo Boulevard between Central Avenue and Alavon Boulevard. In recent years, the gang's membership has decreased mainly because of the closure of Ujima Village. They are not as active as they used to be. In the 1980s and the 1990s, they were a well-known Blood Piru gang in California. The Eastside Village Town Pirus still identify themselves by hitting up their gang affiliation. Some sets that the Village Town Pirus beef with is the Carver Park Compton Crips, the 118 East Coast Block Crips, the Mona Park Compton Crips, and the Kitchen Crips. They are also rivals of the Hispanic Compton Vario 132. Some allies include the Westside Piru, 135 Piru, LA Denver Bloods, Miller Gangster Bloods, and the Afton Park Bloods. At number 4, we have the 135 Pirus.
I'm from 135 though, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm from Jersey though, right? I'm not from 135, you know what I'm saying? That's what I claim though, you know what I'm saying? But like me, done been out there to the turf, I done been to the Compton, right? But you got out on the west, you know what I'm saying, throw rocks, you know what I'm saying, stones that here in the east, 3,000 miles away, for claiming hoods out there, right? Like that's sin or something, you know what I'm saying? Nigga in your hood, right? But the that bring out here, don't nobody say nothing to them niggas. Holler at them niggas right in LA that come out here to the East Coast, and you know what I'm saying, start breeding. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault a little 13-year-old, 14, 15-year-old nigga who really don't know too much about nothing. You know what I'm saying? But he feeling this Damu thing, he feeling this red rag thing.
The 135 Pirus is a gang known as the Eastside 135 Piru Gang, or the 135 Compton Piru Gang. It consists mostly of African Americans.
This Piru set is located on the east side of Rosewood, which is also called Compton. Their territory stretches from 135th Street and Rosecrans Avenue to Main Street and McKinley Avenue. The influence of this gang has spread to different parts of the United States, particularly in New Jersey, Atlanta, Houston, and Arizona. Some sets that the 135 Pirus are allied with is the Hawthorne Piru Gang, the Westside Pirus, Campanella Park Pirus, the 151 Original Block Pirus, the 145 Neighborhood Pirus, and the Village Town Pirus. Some sets that the 135 Pirus beef with includes the 118 East Coast Block Crips, the Nutty Block Compton Crips, the Carver Park Compton Crips, the Original Swamps Compton Crips, the Twilight Zone Compton Crips. They also beef with the Spanish gangs such as the Barrio 13 and the Compton Barrio 155. At number 3, we have the 456 Island Pirus, a gang based in Pomona, California, specifically on the north side. They are also known as the Island Gang because they operate in an isolated area surrounded by Crips and some blood sets. This area is also called the Islands because it is separate from other neighborhoods. They share the north side section of Pomona with the Ghost Town Crips and the north side Pomona Latino Gang. The 456 Island Pirus beef with the Ghost Town Crips, the 12th Street Gang, and the Neckland Gangster Crips. The DEA targeted the 456 Island Pirus along with the 357 Sintown Crips and the West Side Mafia for their involvement in drug sales. At number 2, we have the Bloodstone 30s Pirus, founded in South Los Angeles, California. Also known as the Rolling 30 Pirus, this gang was founded in the early 1970s and have the distinction of being the only Piru set in South Los Angeles. Their territory stretches from Main Street to the west and Hoover Avenue to the east, and from 30th to 41st Street in the north and south. This area is referred to as the Low Bottoms because of the low numeric numbers naming the streets. The name of this gang derives from a 1970s R&B group called Bloodstones. Despite the similarities in the name, the Bloodstone Pirus are not a part or connected to the Black P Stones in Los Angeles, but are very tight with the Bloodstone villains, the Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods and the Outlaws 20s gang. Along with wearing the traditional red associated with the Bloods gang, this gang also dons burgundy articles of clothing to show their affiliation under the Piru card. The Bloodstone Pirus are enemies of all gangster crips, particularly the 4 Deuce Gangster Crips, the 4 Trey Gangster Crips, and the 4-8 Gangster Crips, and the 5 Trey Avalon Gangster Crips, the 5 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips, and the Hispanic East Side Trece Gang. At number 1, we have the Neighborhood Pirus. The West Side Inglewood Neighborhood Pirus is a well-known African-American street gang that has established in the western part of Inglewood, California during the 1970s. Originally called the Hyde Park Boys, this gang controls a large area stretching from Centinela Avenue in the north to Florence Avenue in the south, between La Cienega Boulevard and Edgewood Street, just west of Centinela Avenue. The Inglewood Neighborhood Pirus are part of the Neighborhood Pirus Alliance, which also includes the 151 Original Block Pirus and the 145 Neighborhood Pirus in Compton, California. Other allies include the Avenue Piru Gang, the Queen Street Bloods, and the Rolling 20s Outlaw Bloods. This gang is also connected to the Double I Bloods from Newark, New Jersey. The Inglewood Neighborhood Pirus, despite being a blood gang, have conflicts with various other blood gangs, like the Crenshaw Mafia Gang and the LA Denver Lane Bloods. This started when a member of the Neighborhood Pirus shot and killed a highly ranked member of the Crenshaw Mafia Gang. They also have a significant rivalry with the Inglewood Family Gang, which has been one of the biggest blood versus blood rivalries in Los Angeles history. Among the Crips, the Neighborhood Pirus have waged war against the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 90s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling Hundreds Crips, the Legend Crips, the 102nd Raymond Avenue Crips, and the Imperial Village Crips. They also had past conflicts with the Hispanics Inglewood 13 Gang. Thanks for watching part 2, and stay tuned to part 3.